The words hit me before I could even process their shape. You know that guy from the gym? We need to talk about him. It was the way she said it, calm, measured, as if she were announcing something mundane like running out of milk. But her eyes, they didn't match her tone. They were glassy, trembling around the edges, betraying something she hadn't yet put into words. I froze halfway through buttoning my shirt. The morning light spilled through the kitchen window, cutting across her face in pale streaks. My heartbeat drummed in my ears, loud and uneven. What about him? I managed to ask, though my voice barely sounded like my own. She looked down at the floor. Her fingers worried the edge of the counter. Just sit down, please. And just like that, the air changed. The hum of the refrigerator became deafening. The smell of coffee suddenly nauseated me. I sat, because not sitting felt like defiance, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to fight yet. 2 months ago, she had joined that gym near the office. It started as part of her new year, new me kick. Early mornings, smoothies, leggings that cost more than my monthly car insurance. I'd teased her about it once. She'd laughed and said it was good for her mental health. I believed her. God help me, I believed her. Now, sitting across from her, I realized how much of her self-improvement had quietly edged me out of her life. Her voice trembled slightly when she spoke again. His name's Ryan. You've seen him once or twice. He's the trainer there. Yeah, I said slowly. The one with the sleeve tattoos. Always smiling. She nodded, a single jerk of the head. And? The pause stretched so long it became unbearable. She finally exhaled. It started with conversations, after workouts. Just small talk at first. Then coffee. Then, she stopped. Her throat moved as she swallowed hard. Then it wasn't small talk anymore. My stomach turned. I felt it physically, like the ground beneath me had tilted. Are you telling me you slept with him? She closed her eyes. Tears spilled before the word came. Yes. The kitchen clock ticked twice before I reacted. I remember every second of that silence. The sound of my breath stuttering. The dull ache forming behind my temples. I wanted to yell. To break something. But the anger came too fast, too hot, it scared me. So instead, I stood up and walked to the sink, gripping its edge until my knuckles whitened. How long? She hesitated. That hesitation told me more than any word could. 3 months. 3 months. My voice cracked. 3 months, and you've been coming home to me like nothing happened. Her face crumpled. It wasn't supposed to go that far, Daniel. I didn't plan it. I felt seen for the first time in a long time. The words were knives. I felt seen. So what was I, Emily? I said, spinning to face her. A shadow in your house. A ghost at the dinner table. She shook her head desperately. No, that's not what I mean. Then what do you mean? She started crying in earnest, covering her face with both hands. I don't know. I was lonely. You've been distant. Work, bills, stress. I tried to talk to you, but it felt like you weren't there anymore. It was unfair. And yet, deep down, some part of me knew she wasn't entirely wrong. I had been distant. I'd been working long hours, carrying the mortgage, exhausted. But I'd done it for us. The realization that my sacrifices had become the excuse for her betrayal twisted inside me like barbed wire. The day dragged on in fragments. I left the house without knowing where to go. My feet carried me aimlessly, past the park, the cafe where we'd had our first date, the bookstore where she'd picked out novels she never finished. Everywhere I went, she was there in memory. I replayed every conversation from the last few months, hunting for signs I'd missed. The new perfume. The late gym sessions. The sudden guardedness with her phone. They were all there, tiny cracks I'd ignored because I trusted her. And now, that trust felt like the cruelest joke ever written. By dusk, I was sitting in my car outside the gym. I hadn't planned to go there, but something in me needed to see him. Needed to put a face to the man who'd been living a second life inside my marriage. Through the glass windows, I saw him, Ryan. Tall, confident, laughing with a client. He looked ordinary, Not the monster I wanted him to be. Just a man, unaware of the ruin he'd helped create. I sat there gripping the steering wheel until my hands trembled. Then I started the car and drove home. When I walked in, Emily was sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, her eyes red and hollow. She looked small, fragile, even. "I ended it," she said before I could speak. "I told him today that it was over." "How convenient," I said bitterly. "Right after confessing." "I know how it sounds," she whispered. "But I'm telling you the truth. I love you, Daniel. I want to fix this." The words scraped against my heart like sandpaper. "You love me," I said slowly. "But you gave yourself to someone else. You let him touch you, talk to you, see you in ways you shut me out from. How do you fix that?" She didn't answer. Just sobbed quietly into her hands. I should have felt victorious seeing her broken like that, but all I felt was emptiness. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, listening to her footsteps creak above me. Every sound reminded me of what she'd done. Every silence reminded me of what I'd lost. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. I didn't know she was married. "I'm sorry." Attached was a picture of Emily, laughing in Ryan's car, her hand on his thigh. The timestamp was from a week ago. My chest constricted. I felt sick. She hadn't ended it when she said she did. She'd lied again, to soften the blow, to buy herself mercy she didn't deserve. The betrayal had layers, each one sharper than the last. At dawn, she came downstairs. "We can go to therapy," she started, her voice hopeful, trembling. "We can." I handed her my phone. She stared at the picture, then looked at me with horror. "Daniel, please, I swear that was before I told you." But I was already walking to the door, keys in hand. "Don't," I said quietly. "Don't make it worse with more lies." The morning air hit me like ice as I stepped outside. For the first time in years, I didn't know where I was going. But I knew I couldn't stay. Behind me, through the window, I saw her collapse onto the floor, just a silhouette in the fading dawn. I drove away. And somewhere between the ache and the silence, I realized the cruelest part of betrayal isn't losing the person. It's losing the version of yourself that still believed in them.